Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter. As you may know if you follow me on Twitter, I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter Stories, which just came out in Japan. I wanted to show off one of the hunts that I just did tonight. Although I didn't win, and yes, I'm telling you the result before you even watch the video, I felt that it showed off Deviljho a lot, which I know a lot of you want to see, and I think I also made a lot of key mistakes, and I think by showing this video, I think you'll get a better understanding of the mechanics of the battle system, because it's really addicting and really fun. Just so you know, I've already played the game for about 40 something hours. I'm already in high rank, which is sort of like the final quests that are unlocked when you beat the game, so I've already gone through the story. No, I won't spoil it for you. But my character and all my characters are about level 55 to 60, somewhere around that range, so pretty darn high. I could take down high rank monsters, not so bad, but devil monsters is a whole nother story. Okay, let's check out the hunt. Okay, now during the hunt you can do 3 different battle speeds. For the first few rounds I think I'm doing the normal speed, which for me is kinda slow, but it's fun if you want to see the animations. I generally do ×3, but I do ×2 for the remainder of this hunt so that you guys can actually see the animations, but it wouldn't take too long. So the point here is that Deviljho always almost uses power attacks or skills. I'm betting my money that he's doing power, so what I'm doing is I'm having both my guys do speed, which is sort of like the rock paper scissors thing, that if I win, if they pull power and I pull speed, I'll not only negate their attack, but I'll do damage and I'll gain skill gauge, which is really important because without a skill gauge you're a sitting duck in this game. So far it's working pretty good. Now I am taking damage every time I do a face off, so I will need a heal, and that's where my predicament happens, is around this point. With 2 people constantly attacking every other Joe, going for speed, I can handle him for the most part. But your HP is going to get dwindled down, so I did not come in well stocked. I should have had more items, especially items that replenish those hearts, which are like your carts. And that was my biggest mistake. I think going in prepared, I'll be able to take it. If you notice, these things hit really hard. So I'm going to go ahead and heal my character, and when you do choose to heal your character, you can also choose what the monster does, so you can sort of distract while you do one thing. Now I'm really happy that I had an Ivory Lagiacrus. I do not think I would have gotten even close if I didn't have this monster. It's all the way up to level 60, so it has a lot of defense. It does lightning, which is really good against Deviljho, but most importantly, its key attack does not cost a whole lot of gauge, and it's a speed attack. So this is the type of stuff that you want to look for, because with all these skills that these monsters you can do, you can teach these skills by getting rid of the monster and giving it to another monster. So it's sort of like skill transferring, and you can sort of craft your own monster. So being able to have a monster like this is going to be really key against one monster, but maybe very weak against another. You can see I already got my first cart of the hunt, which sucks. But once you cart, you go back at full health, so that's good. So I went back to the strategy of double speed, 1 and 1, and try and block the other, and this Joe pulled a technique instead of a speed, and that really screwed up my rhythm. So at this point I tried an attack that hit both the monsters, and then I was just desperate to do some damage and distract. Unfortunately they didn't take the bait. They're hitting me, and boom, second card already. But don't worry, hope is not lost. We managed to somehow come back here. So one of the fun things is that you don't know who a monster is going to target. They can target you or they can target the monster. Okay, where critical mistake 1 was not having enough healing items, this was critical mistake 2. Doing a ride is awesome. You can do a lot of damage, you can do your super move and finish off a monster. The problem is though, is after you do your super, or if you get knocked off, you run out of gauge completely, which means that you're totally at the mercy of the AI on your monster. And that's going to be suicide, because if the Ivory Lagiacrus can do whatever the heck it wants, it might not do the speed which it needs to. It could do a normal skill, it could do a charge, you can do a power attack, and that would be absolutely brutal up against a Joe. It'll punish us like ridiculous. I also made a huge mistake here where I targeted the wrong Joe. I think I just got really excited and I hit the A button too fast. So that probably costed me quite a bit as well, because if I would have killed the Joe on the right here, I could have called out another monster, had some breathing room to heal up some more, but I screwed up. Now I ran out of gauge, so I had to change monsters, so I decided to go over to the Stygian, because I know that the Stygian has speed attacks, which means I can cancel out their stuff and I can do a lot of damage. Now what I did not realize was that the Stygian was quite weak defense-wise to Joe, so if you watch how much damage this thing takes, it caught me off guard. Trying to do the double speed strategy again, and of course one of the other Joes is doing technique and screwing up my rhythm. Now there are monsters that you can do special skills that will like literally eliminate a certain, like they can't use speed for 2 rounds or something like that, so you can use that to your advantage as well. If a monster's down, you automatically do a critical hit for most of your attacks, so I definitely wanted to do the tackle from the Zinogre, because I knew that I could probably kill the Joe at this point. And there we go, 1 Joe down and 1 more remaining. Again, if I would have stocked up, I would have been in much better condition. So at this point I was running out of items and I realized that he could not take another hit from a Joe, so I decided to switch out to another monster, and I was forgetting which monsters I had speed attacks for. So I went for the Brachydios and then realized I don't have a speed attack. So I went for power, and I was hoping that he would counter my hunter, but he didn't, and he decided to go up against the Brachy, and that means power versus power, they both take quite a bit of damage. So Brachy got hit pretty hard. I only had 1 healing item left, so I decided to play around a little bit more and then go back to the Lygaicrus. I was really hoping I could just kill the Joe. I wasn't paying attention to the health. One good thing is though, because I killed 1 double Joe, the next time I try this quest, I'll actually be able to see their health, and that's going to be allowing me to do more strategy, I think. Okay, so he's doing skills like his next attack is super high attack, so I've got to be careful here. So I'm bringing in Joe because he has high defense, hoping that he can take it. Of course, he doesn't have a speed attack either. I could teach him one, and I think I will. But in the meantime, I think they're going to go head to head here. We'll see if he can at least survive. Again, once you run out of gauge and you run out of items, you're really at the mercy of how well you put together your team, especially against which monster you're up against. So here I decided to risk it all, go back to my ivory and heal it up and see if I can kill it. I thought it was a good idea, it's just I didn't have enough items. Another problem is when Joe gets enraged, which I really didn't want to happen, but it did. Like, you'll see. Like, he does a breath attack and it really hurts. These little sequences that occur every now and then are really good because they're very easy to win and allows you to get more gauge, which allows you to then spam attacks, which is great. Okay, last healing item. This is it. This is it, boys. Ah, it's such good damage too. Oof. And here I was out of healing, so there was nothing I could do. So I was just using one of those like life powder items. It's only like 100 per each, so not quite enough. And just crossing my fingers. And here it happened. The darn Joe decided to get upset, and wham, look at that damage. And out I go. I would like to say I was close, but I made some really dumb mistakes. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the hunt. I hope it shows you just sort of like the rhythm of what happens when you're up against a larger monster that takes more than just a few turns to kill. I think the rock, paper, scissors mechanic is fabulous, and the idea that you or a monster can cart and it counts towards the game over totally changes the pacing and the amount of, I want to say, uneasiness that you might have compared to a game like Pokemon or Dragon Quest Monsters. Anyways, I really hope that this game comes out in the West. It's much better than I could ever have expected it to be. Until next time, happy hunting.